live stream. Something was wrong with our OBS dashboard. The recording is rolling again. For our TikTok viewers, we appreciate your patience. You know, TikTok, you've really been dealing with all of the BS when it comes to our technical difficulties. You know, Facebook, I just started streaming on here, so y'all were getting a little more refined, especially because y'all were getting the highest quality audio that is available. TikTok, unfortunately, your audio still subpar. It looks like because I received a 30-day, because I received a 30-day ban and live stream restriction, that TikTok took the ability from me to be able to use restream platforms, and so I have to wait until I can regain that eligibility. But that's okay. So, with that being said, just huge thanks. Huge thanks and shout out to all participants of No Kings this weekend. That was, I have to say, one of the greatest protests in human history. Now, can we improve? Absolutely, because frankly, there were no terms, there were no conditions, there were no negotiations, there were no demands. It was just a party in the streets, and that's fine because we have to have a show of force to show everyone on our side that we are not afraid. So I do understand all aspects of that, and I do understand that we are continuing to organize towards the general strike, and that will be, I believe, one of the first pillars of the true working class movement in this country. A general strike, there's no way for anyone or anything to put that down. If all people in all walks of life chose simply to not work for 1 week, the billionaires would have to listen to our demands. It is that easy. It is that frank. And it is the beginning, I believe, of a true working class solidarity movement in this country. We are working towards that. And all of our operations during the No Kings protest were successful. Our recruitment numbers were through the roof, and I have to congratulate all participants. All participants. As your CEO, we went ahead and approved the bonuses, and we approved the overtime. All of the timesheets were in punctually, I might say, and I am just so impressed with everyone, all of our sick left radicals. I am so impressed with the professionalism. I'm so impressed with the results that we've seen, and I'm just so impressed with the consistency. You know, since I've taken the helm of Antifa, of this org, it's been trying, especially the last couple of weeks with us being able to T-org. Things are a lot different, but I have to say that your ability, all of our abilities to adapt, to overcome, it is inspiring. It is inspiring to me, and it is the only reason that I continue on in this endeavor, especially with having almost had my life stolen from me this morning by a poor driver, almost taken in that head-on collision. I'm back. I'm more sick. I'm more left. I'm more radical. There's no stopping. We will continue on until Liquidate the Billionaires reaches their ambitious goal of turning every mega yacht into a coral reef. Now, if that's bad, well, that's because I don't necessarily think we're a good organization. Dependent on what your perspective is, we might not be the best organization for you. There's a bunch of people out there that are feeding people. There's a bunch of people out there that are trying to house people, trying to directly help people. Now, we are not saying that we are trying to hurt people, but we are not exactly using every aspect of our energy in the day-to-day to help. Our intentions are more along the lines of malice, unethical, legal, of course, but unethical, because that's the rules that they operate by. The billionaires operate as unethically as they possibly can to take everything that we have. We have to ask ourselves, when is enough going to be enough? How much is too much? When will we say no? I'm trying to figure it out. We don't have guests today, but we do have a lineup of guests coming. Part of what I love I love just always being so honest and transparent with everyone about what's going on, especially in the propaganda machine, the factory, and the media realm of what we're doing. So, in our first iteration of the Propaganda Factory podcast, we were trying to exist mostly in the context of guest. However, with cancellations and all these things, so many things come up in life. In our schedule, I'm not even going to lie to you, as the CEO of this org, my schedule is everywhere. So it's very hard to consistently be able to make these meetings. Sometimes we have to change things around. Sometimes other people have to change things around. Mostly other people have canceled on us, though. We've been pretty solid on making our commitments. But it's okay. It's okay. I understand life. I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody for not having time to come on the most sick left radical podcast on the network. And with that being said, I have to say that I felt like I was robbing people. I felt like it was not fair that I was making excuses that I could not come on here and talk to my sick left radical comrades, to the people who hold me up every day. I was hiding behind the fact that I couldn't land guests consistently. Well, we had guests. If you go back and look at our podcast, we've had about, 15 guests, 14 guests, something like that. But, I was hiding behind the fact that I thought that you would not want to just listen to me. And frankly, sometimes it is hard to just be the person that's talking. But I've learned a lot, and I am ready to continue on. Since starting in May, we've just continued to push, and now things are just falling into our lap. The network is just growing substantially faster. So many more sick left radicals are tapping in just so fast, and it with this type of energy, with this type of effortless motion, it's hard to deny. It's hard to deny the momentum, The motion is just so positive right now, and we are not having to fight for this, I've been grinding a long time in this propaganda game. I've been grinding a long time in this online game. I grind every day when it comes to getting these followers, to hustling, to make sure that we're providing appropriate content, beneficial content, something that people can latch on to. Been grinding a long time, and I can tell you right now, even though we're working in a way the hardest that we've ever worked, it feels like things are coming the easiest that they've ever came. And I feel like that is a testament to multiple things. It's a testament to the foundation that we've built with the core information, the core radicals that we have in our network, and I think it's also a testament to all of you. I think it's a testament to your resistance. I think it's a testament to your subversion, and I think it's a testament to your inability to accept what this administration is doing. And it's not like under the Joe Biden administration, we were just sitting here singing Kumbaya. We on the left were continuing to be boisterous, continuing to try in all ways without losing our platforms to discuss the problems that were happening in this world. The Gaza issue, especially now with the violated ceasefires that's going on. Just last week we came on here and announced that it was happening, and we said, we'll see how it holds up, and it's only been a week. Didn't even last a week. Didn't even last a week, and the Israelis, BB, and the boys are just kind of wilding, So it goes to show you. It goes to show you that we have to stay focused and we have to stay poised. That every year, every day, every month is an election time. Everything is politics, and those who choose to not engage are cowards and complacent with the oppression that we are fighting every day. And we have to stay in that posture. We must stay in that posture, because absent of that posture is absent the ability for us to continue to coalesce around the true cause, the enemy, the billionaires, the leech class, the landlords. They're all one and the same. If you're part of the cartel, mom and pop landlord or not, you're all one and the same. Hate to break it to you. You heard it here first on the Propaganda Factory from a sick left radical that your mom and pop landlord is no different than Blackstone. TikTok, we are taking guests. If you want to chat, if you have any questions, concerns, We can do salary negotiations, whatever you want. Other platforms will take you in the chat. That's the best way for us to receive you right now. And we are working on our ability to continue to take guests. Once we have TikTok incorporated into our OBS streaming platform, we will be able to tap in those guests, and their audio will be part of your audio experience on the other platforms. We appreciate you, as always, with continuing to be patient as we upgrade our working class movement. And with that, a word from our sponsors. This podcast, this audio, this video experience is brought to you by Liquidate the Billionaires. That's right. Liquidate the Billionaires is a working class solidarity movement whose sole focus is the liberation of the working class. Liquidate the Billionaires has set a carbon negative. That's right, negative. We're taking away carbon. Ambitious goal of a carbon negative project to turn every mega yacht into a coral reef. So if that's something that you can stand behind, please tap in with us on all platforms. Liquidate the Billionaires. Food for all, yachts for none. My favorite sponsor, Liquidate the Billionaires, a subsidiary of our Sick Left Radical org. Great team. Great team there. Whole bunch of sick left radicals. And what I really want to do, I want to make this a fun experience. And I keep telling that to people on the left. Where are y'all right now? Come hop in. Come tap in with us. Come chat. Because, I'm right here. I got the platform. We got all of us. We have tens of thousands of followers. And I understand we're busy. I understand we're all the things. Hop on a video only. Pop in an earbud. Come talk to your people. Come talk to me. Let's continue to push the working class movement forward, because that's what people are craving. That's what they are begging us for. I would love to get on here right now and announce my candidacy for U.S. Senate. I would love to do that, But we're not there yet. And frankly, I don't think that's the answer for me, I'm in a state I could potentially win it. It'd take a whole bunch of rigmarole. Family would be upended and thrown into chaos. These MAGA lunatics, these conservatives, would literally come after my life. I already lost my life almost this morning. I'm not trying to do it again. I would love right now to say to you that at 29 years old, I plan to be the youngest senator sworn in the next Congress. But we can't. We have to stay focused. We have to stay focused on being the dark operative. Even though I'm here clean shaven in a suit in the light, I understand that we need dark operatives. There's more than enough people, more than enough faces, more than enough hopes, dreams, and ambitions to run in these elections. We need dark operatives that make the moves happen. Because that's how all of those clowns in the corporate parties get elected. They have the dark operatives who make things happen. And I'm not sitting here saying we're running a pack. We're not running any sort of political organization. We are running a media machine, a propaganda machine, a factory, if you will, because we focus on the manufacturing and distribution of working class propaganda. And now you may be turned off by that word propaganda, but depending on which platform you're on, whether it's the propaganda factory, MTC, doesn't matter. We're everywhere. So how can you deny it that the propaganda is effective? Everything that you are blitzkrieged with in every aspect of our life is propaganda. The marketing making you think that you need to buy a new car, propaganda. The marketing making you think that if something is on sale, you're somehow saving money, propaganda. The marketing making you think that this administration is scary, propaganda. Just because they're using the power that they can to target the most vulnerable people that they can does not mean that we, as American citizens, with our full rights, full constitutionally guaranteed rights, should be afraid. And I think that's what No Kings was really about. It wasn't about demands. We wish that it was. We wish that there was some sort of outcome to come, but it is about fundamentally a show of strength. That is what we are doing here right now. That is what we do every day, is show strength in the face of oppressors. In the face of oppression, we continue to show strength. We continue to defy. And we will not stop. We will not waver. So like I said, I would love to announce to you that we are running, but we are not, and we cannot. Not because we're barred for any reason, but because that is not the best use strategically of our time in our organization. And no manic episode can convince me otherwise right now. And I know that the clamoring, I know that the comments, I know a lot of grandmas are going to be disappointed. Mine included, rest in peace. But we cannot run the cycle. It's just not in the cards. But we are playing the game. And so you should be confident in the fact that we are building the momentum, building the motion, because there is no office that we can seek right now legally that would change material conditions. There's only one office in this country that offers working class people the power to change material conditions. And until I can capture that office, I'm not running for anything anymore. I'm not doing anything anymore except fighting every day. That's my focus. That's what you pay me to do. That's what I am here for. As your CEO, you pay me. Not a great salary. We'll have to discuss that. Health insurance, definitely a lot to be desired, but you pay me to fight for you every day. And even if you aren't paying me, even if you were not a sick left radical, even if you were not a member of Antifa, you may be a MAGA lunatic showing up for your 12-hour shift thinking that it's the Democrats who done stole whatever from you. But I'm here to tell you it's not, buddy. And it's okay. It's okay that you've been inundated with billionaire propaganda to somehow make you think that the billionaires are on your side. It's okay. Because I'm fighting for you too. Now, am I going to say I'm going to open my arms and all of these MAGA Supremes can come back and kumbaya? No, we're not playing that game. But we do understand that some of you were taken up. You know, some of you may got a little excited, may have got a little lost in the sauce. And you're still working class people nonetheless. We'll take you back. But we have no quarters for the racists. We have no quarters for the hatred. We have no quarters for those who cannot understand fundamentally that this is not a culture war. This is not anything. That everyone has the right to exist in whatever way that they see fit within the letters of the law. A just law, not designed by people who thought that other people were property. And there's no amount of amendments and evolutions and fixing that can take away the fundamental aspect of our country being designed in such a way that property, that wealth, that those who begat that, there is no begat that those who possess that have hoarded that, are the ones who have the most power. This country continues to exist in that state. Even in this iteration, we are realistically one step, one iteration from the slavery that this country was founded upon. You may have heard me, those who are regular listeners may have heard me, but those who are new will hear me say that we started with slavery. And even though our chains may have been taken, they gave us, all right, instead of the plantation, they gave us the mortgage. Instead of the company store, they gave us the corporation. All owned by the same person. We're still working for the same master. They've given us the ability to work for multiple masters, to be traded and exchanged and sold down the river in real time with all of this speculative liquidity stock market. It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. Maybe I should start making a script for coming on live because, people, not a script like we're running a scripted show, but, more structured material. Shit, who knows how to do any of these things right? Fox News and all those things put millions of dollars in their propaganda machine. And yeah, it's effective, but look how many people are still fighting back. Look how many people still crave, lower quality production. Look how many people still crave authenticity. That's why I'm here. That's why I don't give up with showing my face, with showing my voice, with showing my words, with being emboldened and saying the things that you want me to say. I don't give up because I know for a fact that y'all appreciate it. And y'all continue to hold me up. Y'all continue to lift me up because we just crossed 44,000 sick left radicals on the Propaganda Factory page on Facebook. So congratulations to all of our sick left radicals in network. We added another 1,000. Took about 3 to 4 days. And Jonathan just turned in for the first time. Got a general idea from what you wrote. Thank you, Jonathan. I hope that general idea is something to make you stay tapped into the working class movement, to make you stay tapped in to liquidate the billionaires, because we are fighting for you every day. I doubt you don't look like a billionaire to me. I can't zoom in on your picture. Looks like a nice wedding scene. Congratulations. Don't know how long you were married, but, thank you. Appreciate that. Hope that you could stay tapped into our movement. We can see your messages in real time. We right now are streaming on Memes That Can Save the World, MTCSTW on Facebook. We're streaming live right now on the Propaganda Factory. We're streaming live on MTCSTW on YouTube, and we are on TikTok. This audio will be uploaded afterwards to Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all other audio networks. I appreciate everyone's time today on this beautiful Monday. Thank you very much for the heart me. Thank you for joining the fan club. For those of you on TikTok, we are fighting the algorithm right now. We just came off a live ban, and we are fighting to increase our visibility. You can help us with the taps on the screen if you have the daily heart me. That is one of the most important things that you can send, because the increased number in our fan club increases our ability to be seen in the algorithm. For those of you on Facebook, the best thing that you can do is like the stream, comment the stream, share the stream, share it into a group if you don't want to share it with your personal page, because I know that there's a lot of MAGA Supremes and you don't want them to find out. Maybe you're a closeted sick left radical, and that's okay. That's okay. Some would say maybe I am too. I don't know. I live my life sick left and radical, but I don't advertise it. I don't have it tatted on my face. We're thinking about doing that for some content. If you would like to see me have Tifa CEO tatted on my face, please comment below. Please like, follow. Let me know, because I'm willing to do whatever for 1 million followers, because once we hit 1 million followers, I know that liquidation of the billionaire class is imminent. I know that once we have 1 million sick left radicals in our direct control, that the liquidation is imminent. Right now, we are at about 260,000 sick left radicals under our direct, not control, I'm not saying control, but, we have access to communications in some way. But even with access to communicating to those people in some way, the algorithms still fight us. We are still working on ways to be connected in real time in every way, shape, and form, and this is one of those ways. It's one of those ways for you to be able not only to communicate with me in real time, but for me to communicate with you, the entire organization, in real time. And I appreciate everyone who has showed up to our mandatory meeting today. We're not going to talk about grooming standards because, frankly, I don't care how you look. We're not going to talk about ideological standards, except for that racism and bigotry will not be tolerated. We are not going to discuss an unwavering support of me as CEO of this organization because I know that the movement will live on long past I. But we will not bend when it comes to the unwavering support and the unwavering loyalty to the solidarity movement of the working class people. That is where we draw the line. So for all of the billionaire sympathizers, for all of the landlord fantasy wannabes, take note. You have no place here. We do not want to hear any of that because we have had enough. We understand who the enemies are. It's the people gatekeeping the resources that we need for survival. Gatekeeping it for profit. Profits that we cannot eat. Profits that do not save our lives. Profits that do not house us. You know? I had an argument with a liberal. I say he's a liberal because he wasn't no MAGA Supreme. This is a card-carrying Democrat, a liberal. Had an argument with a liberal trying to make a point that how can we, in our right minds, as poor working class people, to vote for the Democratic Party when the billionaires are still funding it? The working class people have had enough of choosing between a full ramming from the billionaires or a regulated ramming from the billionaires. We do not want any more anything from the billionaires. Frankly, if they could take all their money and go to a little island right now, that'd be great. But I know we locked the guy up that at the island that they were going to. So, you know, unfortunate for them, they lost their little island, but maybe they should find a new one because we're enough is enough. Enough is enough. When houses are sitting empty because they're on the balance sheets of Blackstone and these other multi-trillion-dollar corporations, multi-billion-dollar corporations, enough is enough. When health care is accessible, but people are drowning in debt, when people have to declare bankruptcy because they had to go to the hospital, while that CEO, while that executive team is taking home fat profits, fat compensation packages, enough is enough. When these clowns get on these earnings calls and brag about their pricing power, how much they're robbing us, how much they're going to rob us next year, enough is enough. And that's what this is about. That's what we get on here every day to tell you, is that when it comes to the billionaire class, enough is enough. We have had enough. Working class people have had enough. It has been all of human history since the concept of money has been created that people hoard it and lord over those who they deny access. Enough is enough. And we have the resources to improve material conditions. Those resources are you, all of our sick left radicals, the tens of millions of people. We have what it takes to liquidate. We have what it takes. A simple thought experiment. A simple thought experiment for any billionaire sympathizers who may have made it this far into this. A simple thought experiment. If we take Amazon, just Amazon, and all right, if we take just Amazon, Jeffy B owns all that Amazon. If we take just Amazon, we take Jeffy B's hundreds of billions of dollars of equity in Amazon, trillion-dollar company, and that equity was more evenly distributed amongst the workers of Amazon. Would Amazon cease to exist? No. No, it would not. The corporation would still be almost nearly what it is today. Maybe some of those people working in the warehouse would leave, but no, because the equity that would be distributed to them would be probably non-transferable. It'd have to be maintained in the company, and so if they wanted access to some of those fat profits, they would have to stay with the company. It seems like we can easily redesign the way that we create these corporations, the way that we pay our workers, the way that this equity flows from communities to the billionaire class. We can have a simple redesign and everything would be substantially better. And I'm not talking about just some tax the rich wind down. No, I am talking about a fundamental liquidation of the billionaire class, of the shareholder class, so that that equity can flow back to where it needs to be in the communities. The working class people, even the rural ones. You have to think how much resources are plucked and stolen from these rural communities and denied. These people are denied access to them. It makes no sense. And that's not to say that we can have crazy hospitals everywhere and all these things. I understand scarcity. I understand the ability to build things in certain places, viability. I understand all these things. I'm no illiterate commie. Well read. A simple chemist. I understand some math. I can do math with a lot of variables. And I think that's the problem, is that these MAGA lunatics, MAGA Supremes, cannot do math with too many variables. They need things simple, and they always say it. They make fun of the left for their memes because their memes are words. That's because MAGA Supreme can't read. MAGA Supreme can't read, do not consume, not for human consumption, on the raw milk that's putting them in the hospital. MAGA Supreme cannot read horse pace on the vectormycin that they're trying to give out. I mean, come on. These people don't do their own research because they can't read. And look at me. Hey, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to make light of disabilities or anything like that. We're the people who are empathetic of all of those with disabilities. We're trying to say, MAGA Supreme, please don't drink that raw milk. It's dangerous. But you did your own research. Somebody on YouTube told you whatever. So that's what you do now. And now you're in the hospital. MAGA Supreme. Why? Why do you not trust people who I mean, I don't understand, in a capitalist society. Let's take away all of my ideology and let's just operate solely in the ideology of capitalism, okay? In a capitalist society, why would we not trust people whose job it is to learn things that's job we don't do? It's not our job to learn all these things. It's impossible for humans to learn all these things. Why in a capitalist society would we not trust people who receive money to learn things? And realistically, we can tell how trustworthy they are based on how much money they choose to receive. That's like the fundamental aspect of capitalism in the bear. We know that professors at universities, some of them could probably go make more money working for big corporations. So if they choose to make less money, they're probably a little trustworthy. What's up, big dog? How are you? I am hating on capitalism. I am hating on capitalism, yes. If you're going to pin me down, if you want to know what my preferred system is, communism. Why would you be in favor of capitalism is a better question. Well, in my system, buddy, as a cattle farmer, you own your own means of production, so you would make substantially more money. You wouldn't, right, so I'm saying that you would make substantially more money. You wouldn't have all of these leeches in the middle trying to siphon off you. You wouldn't have the bottleneck in the production, right? How do the producers? How do the producers treat you? Not the producers. I'm sorry. The processors. How do the processors treat you? Do they treat you fairly in the market? Do you feel like? Is your processing market consolidated in your area? How many processors do you have available to you in your area? You have 3 processors? Okay, so you got one local, 2 big boys. Okay. So in my system, you highly likely not only would be making more money because you own your means of productions, all of us would own our means of productions, but there would probably be at least triple the processors in your area. And so just that in and of itself means that there would be substantially more equity in your area and everyone in your community would be living a better life. That would be my system. If we're going to talk about Marx, sure, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, I guess we'll call it the new communism, whatever you want to call it. I'm not gonna sit here and get pinned by. I'm not gonna sit here and get pinned down on some dead white guy's words. That's not me. All right. You asked me what my system is. I'm telling you. If you want to reference the book system, we can go off the book. But that's not exactly what I'm going off of. We have to innovate. I'm a scientist. I'm sorry? No, I'm LTB. You see, this is our sponsors right here. You see our sponsors? This is our sponsors right here. That's what I am. Right here. Liquidate. We're sponsored by Liquidate the Billionaires. That's our organization. That's what we are. That's my ideology. I'm sure you would. As a cattle farmer, even if you voted for Trump, I don't know. I don't know because I didn't ask. You might be a liberal. That's fine. But as a cattle farmer, you're not a liberal. You voted your MAGA Supreme. Okay. So how old are you, if I might ask? 19. So this was your first election to be able to vote, and you chose not to vote for Donald Trump. I think that says a lot about you as a person. Even if ideologically you voted libertarian, we can take you in because you're a working class person, and I can understand based on the way that you've probably were educated, some of the ideas that you have about the government and the economy. I can understand that. So the fact that you actively chose to not vote for Donald Trump, I do think that says a little bit something about your character. Yes. Yes, they're unattractive. I'm not going to lie to you. They don't know how to sell. It's not a good sell. Listen. I know exactly what you're saying because when I go into those communist circles, a lot of them don't like me either. I mean, look at me. I'm clean shaven in here on a suit. All right. You got to know how to sell your product. Well, yeah. Well, the thing about it is, hey, I'm as sick as left as radical as they come, but I'm no fool. I'm a practical person. I understand that so many people are out here lost in the sauce, and just because you didn't read Marx doesn't mean that I can't take you in, that I can't turn you to a convert. As a libertarian, I can tell you, I can probably convert you, bro. You give me enough time, you plug me in, I'll probably have you in about 90 days. I was a libertarian just 10 years ago. In my first election, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I voted for Gary Johnson because, hey, the exact same thing. How could I vote for Donald Trump? I was a conservative. I was a fundamentalist Christian. And there was no way I could vote for Donald Trump, and Hillary Clinton was a clown. I didn't want to vote for the billionaire Democratic Party, so I voted for Gary Johnson and was it Bob Weld. That was before your time. That's 10 years ago. You were a child, you know. And look at you. You grew up, and I imagine the Midwest, and you still didn't choose to vote for Trump. Yeah, I mean, you know, they would some other people would argue otherwise, but I know where I stand. Just because I can get on here and sell a product don't mean nothing. Yeah, yeah. Well, that sense of nation is fundamentally based in imperialism, and so even though, and that's not to take away your family's loss of life or dedication to this country in any way, shape, or form, but as poor people in this country, often that loss of life was for imperialism in some form. I mean, we can argue World War II was different, but realistically, I mean, the Russians were going to win that anyway. We didn't necessarily have to kind of like go do that. We did that for like the West is imperialist. You know, to prop up the British and French empires and things like that. But I don't want to take away from that. So if you're saying ideologically, I would say just dip your toe in. We don't have to get rid of the state. I mean, realistically, the United States of America might not exist anymore. We'd have a new constitution and be the Communist States of America. Just because the name changes, you know, doesn't mean the whole thing got to change. Like, well, you know, a lot of things would be different, but a lot of things would be better. I mean, for working class people, for people who work, for a cattle farmer, I mean, come on now, man. For a cattle farmer, your life would be substantially better. You would be supplying the lifeblood of the nation. You know, we wouldn't be sitting here jerking you around so freaking dudes can ride around on mega yachts and private jets. Like, that's the problem, you know? Well, I think you need to I think you need to ask yourself cuz freedom of speech in the active choice of using that speech for belligerence, that's more of a moral thing. And we're not going to be able to dictate morals because we still have to have a free exchange of ideas, but at the same time, some morals will not be tolerable. Like, you know, just like in Germany, they made certain things illegal after all of that. There's really no reason that America shouldn't have done that after the thing that we had in 1865, you know? There's no reason that America shouldn't have taken that seriously. But when it came down to it, it's because there was rich supremacists on both sides, and so it was not in their interest to do such. And because most of the population were supremacists, and so like you have to, as a 19-year-old man, listen, hold on, please, real quick. Hold on, real quick. As a 19-year-old man, I'm going to be completely honest with you because I'm looking at where I was at 19 years old. And at 19 years old, I was a fundamentalist Christian and a conservative. And I was watching Fox News for 12 to 15 hours a day. And now, 10 years later, I am a sick left radical in Donald Trump's America, and I am the CEO of Antifa. So it just goes to show you that once you start to work on actually learning the country that you live in, understanding what happened to people. So you have to think as a cattle farmer, okay? That just imagine right now, people rolled up on you and took all your stuff and either put you in chains or put you in the dirt. Just that happened not long ago in this country, actually probably on the land that you're cattle farming on now, you know? And so just to understand and to put yourself in people's shoes, it doesn't make you weaker, that makes you strong. And that's what you have to build a country on is the ability to understand that the people that are the lowest deserve dignity, deserve respect, and deserve access to the basic things that we can provide as a society. You know? So I would just say, as at 19, you have a deconstruction journey to go on. And it's not to say that, like, it's not, I'm not calling you an idiot or anything like that. You sound like a smart guy. You sound like you want to learn things. So you just need to continue to learn things and expose yourself to new ideas. And I think that you'd be very interested to see where it takes you. Be careful though, because you're already a libertarian, so you're very close to the far right pipeline. You're adjacent. Listen, you're adjacent. So you don't want borders. So if you don't want borders, then how can, as a libertarian who doesn't want borders, how can you ask me what's wrong with getting rid of the state? Because borders is the state. You can't have a state without borders. I mean, that's basic 101. I don't that was just words. That was nothing. You actually didn't say anything just now. Yeah. But you just you just said that you don't believe in borders, and now you're telling me that if we don't have borders, that undesirable people come in. I'm not understanding. And then I just want you, hold on please, really quickly. I just want you to say, I just want you to understand. And for those of you on all the other platforms, I'm repeating a lot of what this dude's saying to make sure that you're getting the full idea. Um he just said that he didn't believe in borders, but then that borders, if we don't have borders, that undesirable people will be let in. And then I told him previously, which you've heard, that he was libertarian, so he needs to be careful because he's right wing adjacent. And he said, no, he wasn't. And then he proceeded to tell me that borders keep undesirable people from having influence in your country. So I just want to point out to everyone, in real time, these people struggle with the propaganda that they're being fed and they're being baited along. And listen, man, I'm not talking down to you or anything. You are struggling ideologically right now because you are saying some things that you may believe, and then I'm hearing you say things that are just propaganda right wing talking points. And, um, well, for you to say that you don't want borders, but then proceed to say undesirable people in your country, do you understand the idea of not wanting someone in your country is inherently, that's a very right wing idea. If you think, no, the only people living off the system are billionaires. Okay, but hold on, please, really quick. You have 600-pound bearded ladies on the right. So you're sitting here trying to, and then again, you're saying that you're not right wing. You're saying that you don't have right wing propaganda in your brain, but now you're trying to peddle in some transphobic BS. You have 600-pound bearded ladies in MAGA. Do you know how many fat conservatives I've seen? I live in one of the most conservative places in the country. I could throw a rock and hit a fat conservative. So you're going to sit here and say that? Come on now. That's the thing about it. Hold on. That's the thing about it. This isn't the tolerant left, bro. I don't know the commies that you debate with that's going to sit here and accept this BS. Y'all, look. Is your mom fat? Be honest. Your mom's not fat? You ain't got no fat people in your family? Not a single fat person. Some person that you would consider fat. Maybe not 600 pounds, this number that you've thrown out there. But you don't have anyone that would be considered medically obese in your family? You got the healthiest family in the Midwest. Statistically speaking, what is it? 60%? 75%? 75%. You're paying, number one, you're paying for your MAGA Supremes type 2 diabetes right now. Number two, okay, hold on, please. Number two, I mean, you voted, I understand what you're saying, but still in all, you're paying for MAGA Supremes insulin as well, Manjaro as well. Number two, ooh, I lost myself there. You're paying, you said that, no, I mean, yeah, I'm having a good time. It's just, it's unfortunate my audio is separate from the platforms. That's the only unfortunate thing, but it's okay. We'll have that. We'll have that fixed. Paying for the diabetes. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Oh, okay. So again, as a cattle farmer, you know, you're not taking into account the constant blitz from the billionaire class to feed us this crap that makes us obese. I mean, I don't know where you live, but I imagine that you probably don't have a very wide access to well, restaurants. Let's just look at restaurants. There's a bunch of national restaurants where you live. You got McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Wendy's, things like that. Is there an abundance of local restaurants that would sell things like burgers and french fries and fried chicken and things like that? That is what matters because of the fast food restaurants and because of the way that the billionaire class has designed the distribution network of the food that is easily accessible to restaurants, it makes it to where you have this uniform experience across the country of crap, of fried BS, of, you know, poor vegetable choices. So you're sitting here and blaming people for being poor. You know, I'm not sitting here saying that everything that everyone's body. I'm not sitting here saying that everyone's body is a direct consequence of every choice they make. I'm saying that you're not taking into account all of the crap that is the only affordable thing that people have access to is bad for you and makes you that way. You know? I mean, that's two different things. No. If I have an apple and I have dried apples and I have dried apples, that's a great example. If I have apples, a fresh apple versus dried apples in a package. You know, the dried apples contain substantially more sugar in its process and probably has preservatives that are going to stick around in your body for a little longer. So that's just that's in and of itself. And the preserved apples are probably cheaper. if we're being honest, because you have to think they were from oversupply and now they're preserved with the high sweetener and stuff like that, and it's processed, so it's stepped on, so you're getting stepped on product. So just if you look at an apple, a fresh apple versus stepped on preserved apples, I mean they're using dope game tactics to poison us. It's textbook 101 economics. Money. What's stopping you? Money. Right, but what's stopping people from buying the organic product versus the cheaper the cheaper stepped on product? Money. That's what's stopping people. The cheaper stepped on product is more accessible and you can purchase more of that versus the organic product that may be a couple of dollars more. That's you're a cattle farmer. You're a cattle farmer, bro. You know. Are you an organic cattle farmer? Are you USDA certified organic Angus beef? You're probably a dairy farmer. Are you a dairy farmer or you meat? Okay. Yeah. You watch Yellowstone? For sure. Well, look, man, at 19, you got a lot of deconstructing to do. I would say it starts in understanding the black liberation movement that existed in the country that you live in. Start with the black liberation movement that just happened a couple of decades ago. Well, no, but what I'm telling you, please, what I'm telling you is that at 19, if you want a chance of not being a piece of crap in this world, you should expose yourself to differing opinions of people that do not look like you and people that do not think like you so that you can get a full and complete picture of the world. It's okay to form your own opinions, but you should always be, yeah, I appreciate that. Do some more of it. I'm going to roll, though. I got some shit to go do. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone's time on the network. It's possible. I appreciate everyone's time. Yeah, just stay plugged in. Shoot a follow. I appreciate everyone's time on the network. We're going to get the audio fixed. We're going to get it to where our TikTok guests will come in. Like I said, we're just counting the days. TikTok wanted to ban us. That was about 2 weeks ago. So I think we have like 16 more days, and we should be able to have it all together. I appreciate everyone's time.